tell us what is Heather Smith Outdoors? Like, where do we start? Like, how did you get into this digital content creating, with the outdoor focus?
Well, actually, I'm a tournament. I started out tournament fishing. The story is I think it's funny. I guess I'm behind in times. People say content creator. I was just doing tournaments and posting videos and pictures of it, right? And then as you get a little bit more competitive and it levels up more, you can't post pictures of what your spots are, right? Or if otherwise you can expect your partner is going to take your phone and throw it off the boat, right? And or never fish with you again. And getting into the outdoors, I just literally started taking pictures and videoing everything I was just doing, right? And and I didn't realize, slowly I started seeing all these people changing their stuff to, content creator. And I'm like, this is just my life, like, I don't think it's like people are like, it's a creator. I'm like, I just think it's a life, it's just my life. I don't know how, like, I don't understand. I guess it's still confusing to me, but so, my whole focus, I grew up on the saltwater. I grew up in Clear Lake. I was born actually in Raceland, Louisiana, down in the South. My father was a captain. My father was a captain at a very young age. He was a master mariner, actually. And so, and I made a post the other day. I call him my Uncle Michael because it was my dad's best friend. My dad was very unique, probably one of the most brilliant individuals that's ever walked this earth, to be honest with you. Although I'm a little biased, but that's my dad, And he always he was the safety. It was the captain coming out in him, right? So before I would get in the vehicle, he'd run around and, teach me how to do the safety check, and run around and check everything. But he also didn't believe, or he did not fully trust electronics or anything on the boat. So he would go into his office and he would chart the entire trip that he was going to take. And he took trips to Africa. He went down to South America, and he would do everything, celestial navigation and chart it prior to going. And so at nighttime growing,
he was old.
Yeah, it was actually, I did not appreciate it until I got older, like really grasp the magnitude of what he was doing. And it was such an esoteric profession, of what he was doing. But he would sit when I was little and he would just point to the stars and point out different constellations. And he would always remind me that the stars will always bring you home, and I didn't understand what he was trying to say until I got older. And then, so I'd always saltwater fish. We went out a lot, did a lot of inshore, did offshore with my dad and his family and, my mom's family. And then in 2018, my mother passed away. And actually my grandparents had passed away. So I lost one grandfather, then I lost a grandmother, then I lost a grandfather, then I lost my mother. And I had already lost my dad. So, everybody was gone. And I just had the littles, and I had to move up to Sam Rayburn from Kemah to take over the family business. And so my mom wanted her ashes spread on Sam Rayburn. And I didn't have a gravesite to go talk to, and I didn't really personally know a lot of people up here. I moved up to a town of 223, which 223 makes a great bullet, but when you come from like the fourth largest city in the country to, something very small like this, you feel very vulnerable and very alone, and it was kind of like hit the brakes and it flies right by you. That's how my whole reality felt, at that time. So I picked up a fishing rod and I went out to go visit my mom on the water. And eventually it became more about fishing and less about visiting mom.